Well, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Ondo State has given Governor Rotimi Akeredolu a 3-day ultimatum to either resume at the governor's office in Akure or resign. The youth wing of the party issued the ultimatum on Monday at the party secretariat in Akure, Ondo State capital, while protesting the continued absence of the governor. Well, earlier, a team of security operatives comprising men of the police, Department of State Services, DSS, and National Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, had cordoned off the PDP secretariat to prevent the protest from holding. Akeredolu has not been seen in the state since his return from medical leave in Germany over 4 weeks ago. Now, according to one of the PDP youth leaders, Tayo Oluyi, the state can no longer bear what he described as leadership vacuum. Well, stay with us virtually. We have John Akeredolu from Japan and Nick Agule from the UK, both public affairs commentators. All right, now, this is another instance where an elected officer or a civil servant, as the case may be, is not showing commitment to work. But in the case of Akeredolu now, we do recall that he was on medical leave for about 3 months, and then he returned just when there were talks about impeachment, having been away from the country for a long time. But then since he came back into the country, he has not been to Ondo State. He actually landed in Ibadan, and he has been in Ibadan, administering Ondo from Ibadan. But we also do know that according to the law, that's not breaking any law. All right? That's not breaking any law because he's still within the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But what do you make of the fact that the governor, over 3 weeks, 4 months now, has not been to the state that he was elected to preside over? All right, he has not met with his people. We do know that he's been sick, taking treatment. But what do you say to this? I'm going to stay with you, Nick. Let's get your views in, Nick, and then I'll come back to John.
Well, this is the kind of comedy that we witness here. People take these political jobs as their personal estate, as their personal thing, like a family thing or so, meaning they cede it to any other person. We've seen this thing play out. We saw it in the Yaradua days. We saw it in the man from Taraba who had that plane crash. We saw it in the Buhari days. And I was seeing it in this Ondo State saga, where those who have been elected and entrusted with responsibility by the citizens happen to becoming disposed. And instead of coming out clean to the people to say, this is my state of health, I either abdicate and I either leave my job or I'm handing over to my deputy so I can go and look after my state of health. Rather, what you see are games, playing games with the people, where this person will be absent for prolonged periods of time from office, and nobody knows about their whereabouts, nobody knows about their state of health, and then proxies come in and are governing in the name of the person and all of that. You see the kind of games in the Yaradua days, may so rest in peace, where he was brought back under the cover of darkness, all the airport lights switched off at the airport. This is unnecessary. I mean, it doesn't put us in good light. People have to treat these jobs as public offices held in trust for the people. And if they are not in a position to carry on, I mean, all of us can fall sick. Falling sick is not a crime. It's something that can happen to anybody. So when we get to that position, then these offices have to be respected. The will of the people has to be respected, and the good of the people must be taken into consideration, so that people don't sit on these offices. I mean, in Governor Akeredolu's case, he came back, with photo ops and all of that, and the first thing he did was to sack his deputy governor, the man that was acting when he was not around. And now he himself, he's not been seen in public. He's not, I mean, for those who know Dr. Akeredolu, you know that he's a man that loves the camera. He loves to come out. So for the fact that he's not seen in public for some time, it definitely means that he's not capable to do so. And the deputy was acting for him. He's not there again. So at the end of the day, he has thrown the people of Ondo State that he so much tried to lead under the bus. And he seems not to care about their own welfare. He doesn't care to know about what is happening. And there's a leadership vacuum that has been created in Ondo State. And this has to be plugged immediately.
All right, leadership vacuum indeed. Vacuum, but the man is still in office. John, now, is this part of what we call the sit tight syndrome of elected officers? Yes, indeed, the man has health issues, and his tenure will terminate next year. But why sit tight up until that time? Why not just take a break and then attend to your health?
Moses, thank you very much. So sad that is the state I'm from, and it's also to the fact that why is there this type mentality? It means that if you are a two-term governor, there are some benefit that is accrued to you. And so if he is out of office before that is second time, the end of second time, he might not be able to get some of this entitlement and benefit that will be accrued to him as ex-governor of the state. And so that is why, even if he's on wheelchair, he wants to make sure he's still on that seat until he finishes second term. And that is something that is the highest level of, of idiocracy. It's the highest level of madness that you cannot see anywhere in the world. Now, this is it. If you're a governor of a state and you're not feeling too well, I know the work is serious, all right? If you are sick, go and fix your health. Leave the work and then hand over the job to your deputy. Both of you had a joint ticket. And the deputy can come in and take over from where you stop. And then while you are taking care of your health, the deputy can stand in the gap and then help you, and give you reports, maybe on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis. And then the operations can go on. So even while you're in your sick bed, you are being briefed as to what is happening in your state, you know what is happening. And then you can also give your own take on what it should do. And you can take the from you and then run the state smoothly, pending the time you come back. But you can see that this has shown us that it's not about the people. It's about the people who put them in power. It's not about the masses. It's about the political class. And so I'm sure that there are some advisors in the political class, even in their political party, APC, who will say and that's my problem with political parties in Nigeria. When you see a member of your fold misbehaving, are there no hierarchies that can call these people to order and tell them you are bringing shame to our party? Where is the dignity in the party? If a state can be like that, there's no without governor presence for how many weeks, and even the national office of their party have not said anything about it, and that is the level of foolishness that you can see anywhere. And so for me, I don't think that's the way to go. The governor is not fit. We wish him well. Get well soon, Governor Akeredolu. But the point is, you do not keep the people stagnant because you're not feeling too well. The state must run. And so let somebody else come in the gap and take over from there. You're the deputy governor, who I think is ably capable because you guys are the joint ticket. And then he can run the state affairs and give you a report from there. So if the PDP is coming out to talk now, that is just showing you that they have a vibrant opposition in those states. And I think they should keep that going on because service and democracy is to the people, government of the people, by the people.
You do know that the deputy Akeredolu is undergoing impeachment and proceedings right now.
Yes, the reason why that is going on is because there must have been some steps he has taken that negates the wish of the governor.
Disloyalty.
And the
He's been
governor
accused
felt
of
the
being
only thing he can do at this
he's been
point in
accused of
time,
being
you know,
disloyal.
it, what did you say?
He's been accused of being disloyal.
That's what I'm saying to you. And if you look at that case, that's also the case of Edo Governor Baseki and Shuaibu. And so that is why I'm saying to you that if you look at our political class, most of the time it's about them and not about the people. And the people should understand that these people don't care about us. They do not care about us a bit. They only care about themselves. And so what is it that is being disloyal? Moses, if I'm bringing something, a policy, if I'm bringing an intervention that will favor the people of Ondo State, how is that being disloyal to you? It's because you see that when you spend money in the right place, as against frivolities that they want you to spend on, you become a disloyal person. What is that disloyalty? It's because you are not doing according to their tunes and their dances. And that's the problem. So they prefer for you to give those money to some set of people rather than you bringing up development to your state. Look at Ondo State, for God's sake. Ondo State should be one of the richest states in Nigeria. But if you look at the level of poverty in Ondo State, Moses, you will cry for my state. My own region is the oil producing region of the local government. As a local government today is even the shanties in Ebute Metta is even beautiful more than the region in Esodo. And that is the oil producing region of Ondo State. And look, if you look at the money being collected from the federal government allocation, the fact, look at the money from oil revenue, and then you ask yourself, and the development in the state, how can you place the revenue with development side by side? It does not correlate, my brother. And that is why the people are saying, Governor Akeredolu, if you know you are not fit, please declare. Declare you are not fit and go to your house. Take care of yourself. When you are fit, come back to the office. Moses, that tells you about the issue of transparency about our government officials. What is your state of health? They say, oh, I'm physically fit. You see them running around the stadium. It's not about running around the stadium. Now, with Akeredolu run around the stadium, maybe you see that tomorrow and then start joining around and I tell you, I'm fit. We don't want to join around the stadium. Show us, speak to us. We are your people. We voted for you. You are our governor. So I think there should be constant communication with the people you are governing. Why run away from the camera? Why run away from the people? You ask for it. It's a public office. And once you're a public office holder, everything about you should be in a public space. No secrecy anymore. And so if other people are asking for you to come out, please come out. Even if you're on your wheelchair, come out and let them see that you are still alive and not dead. All right? And so, although we wish you well, but the point is come out because you have asked for this job and they've given the job to you. So don't give any excuse again.
All right. Nick, now, John did say something, even if you're on the wheelchair, come out. Now, there was a president of the US that was on the wheelchair, but in Nigeria, do you think Nigerians will let that kind of thing slide if an elected officer is seen to be incapacitated in some way? Nick, please.
Well, first and foremost, being on a wheelchair does not in any way connote that someone is incapacitated for a job, except the job requires your physical abilities. And if you are disabled and you are not able to do that physical side of the job. But if the job is administrative, as the job of a governor is, then you can as well do it from a wheelchair. There are people who are wheelchair bound who are heavier than those who are walking on their 2 feet. So it doesn't matter that someone in a wheelchair shouldn't be able to do a job. There are CEOs and other, people holding important positions around the world who are in a wheelchair. For instance, if you have a physical disability that makes it impossible for you to walk, but every other of your senses, your knowledge and your expertise is still intact, I can't see why that should, in fact, is one of the things that Nigeria needs to do, whereby, and I think we have either a law or policy on this, on the employment of people with disabilities, which doesn't happen here. We should have that. We should make provision for them. Offices and public places and even private places should have wheelchair access, so that people on wheelchair can go about their normal business and all of that. So being in a wheelchair alone is not an impediment to delivering on an administrative job like that of a governor. But I think the issue to hold, I very much align with the views of my co-panelists. The fact that when matters like this happen and this kind of impunity is playing out, we have people that can step in that Ondo state. And by the way, Ondo state was where I did my youth service. You know, I served in a place called the Carrera Coco in Ondo state. So it's my state. I expect the people in that state to come up. There are traditional rulers there. There are past governors there. There are ministers serving past, military generals serving past, all sorts of opinion leaders in that place. And they need to step in and say, look, we can't continue like this. What is the position of the governor and all of that? And you know, if the governor sees that people of such eminence are coming out on this matter, he himself will advise himself that I have to do the right thing. But in Nigeria, anything that is thrown at us, we just sit down those side and accept it. And I keep telling people that all those places our young people are jackpotting to, those places are functioning, they are running because the people will not accept something like this. So even the leaders, they are afraid of the mood of the people, the reaction of the people. And that is why they are perpetually pressured to deliver good governance. Until we step up to that plate in Nigeria, I don't think we're going to get the Nigeria that we deserve.
All right, so Nick, I'm going to stay with you on this one. Now, do you think there will be potential implication if the governor does not meet with the people or show himself like the PDP youth are requesting him to do? Would there be potential implications for the governor if the ultimatum given to him expires? Nick, I'm staying with you on this one. Nick. Hello, Nick.
Oh, you're staying with me on that?
Yes.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so you see, the Nigeria's constitution has provided for what happens in a situation like this. In a situation where the chief executive, either at the federal, that is the national, or at the subnational, is indisposed like this, the State House of Assembly is expected to constitute a medical panel to actually examine the CEO, whether at the national or subnational. And the report of that will lead to, removal processes. But in Nigeria, one of the first things that the CEOs, either at the presidency or at the governorship, do is to disable the legislature, to pocket the legislature, to make it impossible for the legislature to conduct its work as constitutionally provided. But again, it comes back to the people. The people watch this kind of impunity happen without any reaction from them. The Constitution provides for the people to pressure their legislators with the recall process. So if by now people in Ondo State were putting signatures together to recall all the members of the State Assembly for failing in their duty to do the right thing, perhaps that will put pressure on them to begin to take action in this kind of situations. So the laws are there. The issue is the implementation of the laws.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Nick Agule and John Akeredolu. Unfortunately, we'll have to let you go now as we move on to other topics, other parts of the show. But we must appreciate your contribution. John Akeredolu joined us virtually from Japan, while Nick Agule joined us virtually from the UK. Big thanks to gentlemen that joined in on the show. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll go into business, entertainment, and then sports. Stay with us.